So I'm going to show some research papers that have been published in recent years, and some of them will be like the one you see on screen, which is a kind of clip from Twitter, and or post from Twitter or X, whatever it's called. I'm going to call it Twitter, make my life easier. But essentially, what we have here is an AI generated research paper, and it's clear because the author of this tweet already highlighted the bit that's the issue, which is the yellow highlighted text, which literally reads, I'm hoping you can see it on screen. It reads, "Certainly here is a possible introduction for your topic." That's AI generated content right there, which now tells us that this paper was written with AI. Now, I'm not going to say that the entire paper was written with AI and that the authors didn't put any effort in, because I'm pretty sure they put in some of their own effort to customize the paper. But it's pretty clear that this paper was generated using AI, and the fact that it managed to get published with that statement in yellow in the paper, I mean, I'm not going to say it triggers me because that's a bit too dramatic, but I'm definitely offended. And the reason is, when I was doing my PhD, which I finished in 2023, I wrote every research paper myself. I didn't use any AI tools, nothing. It was all me, right? All me. I guess I can be a purist about it in that sense. I didn't need AI to pass my PhD, unlike these new folks now, but whatever. So the reviewers were brutal. I had to go through several revisions to even get a paper published. I mean, man, these reviewers were brutal, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there. There's some PTSD there on how brutal they were, and the fact that the same reviewers were laying this stuff through. Nah, come on, it's unacceptable. Sure, it's not the exact same reviewers, but in terms of the standard, it's come on, similar people. Because I actually published a paper in Elsevier, whatever, this journal. I have a paper for my project, and they were brutal about it. But they let this stuff through? You kidding me? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Because, by the way, this journal paper, this journal, I guess that's what you call it, yeah, is not a small journal. It's not like some upstart, whatever, where they need papers. No, this is a top tier journal. This is a highly respected, quote unquote, respected based on reputation, etc. Journal in the scientific community, the PhD community, research community, academia, essentially. So they're letting this stuff through. No, I'm going to have to start looking at them sideways, because what's the meaning of this, right? And up next, I think it's another one from the same journal. Yep, Elsevier again. No, let me try and zoom in on this one. Oh, we can just do that. There you go. I didn't realize. Same journal, Elsevier again, and yeah, the text highlighted in blue is literally AI. Someone wrote a prompt for this to generate this paper. So again, how the hell did this get through when my human written research papers were being kneecapped at the door, and I had to earn the right to publish them, but they just let this stuff through? I wonder how many times they reviewed these papers, because clearly they didn't review them that much, because in the first run you don't notice this unless they skim read the whole thing, because they were definitely reading my papers, because they were hearing entire paragraphs going, in this paragraph you say X, explain, or this is countered by this, make it clearer or whatever. Clearly they didn't do that here, because I'd like to think they'd have noticed the entire basically paragraph introduction. God damn it, it's the introduction. This stuff ain't hidden between graphs and results. It's literally at the beginning. Unbelievable. And I think the next one is Elsevier, whatever they call Elsevier. I think that's how you say it. Elsevier. Yeah. They're offending on a level where that is ridiculous, because look at this. Another one. And these are probably all from different industries as well. Like they're not all from the same type of research sector, right? It would be different sectors. But how the hell are these things getting through? And how this ties into what I'm talking about in the video is the pressure to publish or perish, which is the culture, is leading to this crap. Because now academics or PhDs, whatever, researchers, all of them, have more pressure to publish a paper. So now they're using AI to just write something and then get it out there as quickly as possible, because it's more about quantity over quality right now. That's the kind of game. And we have this crap. And I'm like, you kidding me? So yeah, that's 3 for 3 right there. I mean, that's a problem. I mean, it's ridiculous. And if we check out the next one, I think this is the same one as the first one. Let me just double check that. 3-dimensional porous mesh. Actually, I'm not sure. This might be a different paper. Elsevier again. It might be just the statement at the beginning is the same. Lithium batteries. I think it's the same one, because lithium batteries, etc. What are the chances that would be 2 different papers? What are the chances? Yeah. So I think it might be the same paper. I mean, listen, look at this. The phrase certainly here is typically prologue produced by AI chatbot ChatGPT. Oh my god. Wait, I hope that's not part of the paper as well, because that would be an extra layer of offensiveness right there. Okay, I think that's someone who noticed this basically. But this got published. This garbage okay, fine, garbage is a bit too far. I'm a bit salty. I won't deny it. I'm a bit salty. Calling it garbage is a bit too far. I accept that. But still, because the research behind might be valid, and they just use the AI to write the paper, right? But still, how'd this get through? How? Someone at this journal paper, Elsevier, needs to explain to me, pretty much to all of us, how this crap is getting through. Because now the question is, can we even trust these top tier journals? Okay, fine, it's only one of them, right? But what are the chances that if I went looking in Nature or, I don't know, IEEE, which is the more tech one, or any other massive reputable journal, I'd find this stuff as well, AI generated research papers that have made it through and have been peer reviewed, quote unquote. What are the chances I'll find them there? It's not slim, because if we found them here, we can find them elsewhere, right? And it's a problem, because how can we rely on these journals to be the, I guess, home of top tier quality research papers, right? And it's like, how can we? Sure, you might say, look, they just wrote the paper with AI, but the research is legit, and that's fair. But what proof do I have of that? Can I reproduce this information? What if I can't reproduce it? Because that's another issue in academia. Reproducibility is actually an issue for most experiments in academia. Like if I read whatever they did here and they tried to run the same experiments, I probably can't reproduce the same results. I probably can't. That's actually been already a case that's been kind of mentioned all over academia as an issue. So again, this is a problem, and I actually think, as a whole, the peer review system for PhDs, because it's a global system, right, where the research papers are being reviewed by people from could be easily from anyone from Germany, Israel, China, I don't know, Brazil, etc. I mean, I've had some of my papers be reviewed by a person from Brazil, one from India, I think, or Cyprus or something, or Singapore, I can't remember now. But they were all over the place. They weren't all in one area. I think I remember having a gentleman who was I think he was Portuguese or Spanish, can't remember. Because I think he was either Portuguese or Spanish, because he was a top tier lecturer, PhD supervisor in a top university in Portugal. And he reviewed one of my papers. But also, I think he might have been invited to become an external examiner on my PhD viva. Because he was already familiar with kind of the work I was doing, loosely, so to speak, because of that one research paper. So that's the thing. And I think there should be more of a standard on how we do these peer reviews, because right now it's kind of based on how the reviewer sees it and, how they're feeling on the day, basically. There are no real standards, and That's probably why we end up with this. Somebody's skim reading research papers and just laying them through with AI generated content in them, which is just, I mean, it's not blasphemy, but actually, you know what? It is blasphemy for academia. This is blasphemous. Okay, from an academic standard, this is blasphemy, basically. I'm saying it. Madness. Moving on, in 2023, there were apparently 10,000 research papers that were retracted. At least that, there might be more, but at least that's the report as of December 2023. And it's because I guess in 2023 there was a rise in fake papers that were being published. Now I'm not sure if this is the AI generated content or not, but according to the article, which I read a while ago, it says basically, where was the line? It says that where was it? So these are basically like I was saying before, with academia and the PhD world, essentially, research papers are being reviewed by peers that are peers who are all over the place, and all of them don't exactly work for the journal. They might just be asked to as a favor, or maybe they are doing a favor in return for someone who's reviewing a paper for the student of someone they've worked with in the past. But there's no real standard. So for some of these journals, they have these guest editors. Basically, they're not paid. They just work for free, basically, because they do it for the love of the game, basically, for being honest. And these guest editors, apparently that's where the scam was happening. So as it says, one of the issues, so it's in this line, one of the issues here has been Hindawi's, I think Hindawi might be one of these journal papers. Yeah, publisher. It's a publisher in London, basically. Hindawi is a subsidiary of Wiley, another publisher, basically. So Hindawi is a publisher, and they basically they were relying on guest editors to review papers, and that's where the scam was happening, because there was a collection of these guest editors who were basically reviewing their own papers, basically, or they write a fake paper, and then I guess you get your friends to sign in as guest editors, guest reviewers, whatever you call them. They then review and sign off on your research paper, and it gets published. And that's what was happening, basically, because again, there are no standards, which they need to be, basically. And that's the whole thing there, and it's basically a big issue, because I think the Nature journal, which is another massive journal, also had a rise in retractions because of this. And it's just crazy, and this is all due to the fact that there's a pressure to publish, but also the review system is not that great, and now we're ending up with quote unquote research being published that's actually either non-existent, because in this case these are fake papers according to this article, but it might be low tier research that's not well grounded, and that has not been well explored by the researcher, basically, but they're just publishing it because they need to get the publications out, because that's how they're going to move up the ladder in their organization, in their university or whatever academic institution they're in or something. Which is, it's a mess. I think it's kind of is it Charlie Munger who said, show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcomes, and the incentive right now is more publications, and the outcome is rubbish research being published, basically, which is not great for the academic area, because how can we trust the research coming out of academia if it's not good quality, basically? Because why should we even trust it? Because there's already I believe there's already a loss of trust in the academic world, basically. Some people might disagree with me, but I think there's been a loss of trust, and I think it's due to stuff like this. Even though, to be fair, the general public don't know anything about this. I know, because I'm kind of academia adjacent, because I used to be, in the academic world. Even though I was a part-time student, and my entire goal was get the PhD and get out of there. I never had a plan to pursue an academic career, but I was still in the environment, so I saw things, behind the curtain, so to speak. And yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess out there, and it's not great. Yeah. Now, in 2025, because the previous one was 2023, the articles. So in 2025, there was another at least 129 papers retracted in May, as of May, basically. This has been reported as of May 2025, and this was from like spring, from the Nature Journal. Yeah, they retracted like 129 papers, and the reason is because strong indications that the papers had been written using LLMs, and I guess Gen AI, all of it's called nowadays. So yeah, more AI generated articles because of this push to just publish papers. And I guess it's like I was saying in the video, the topic of the video is academia should focus on quality research instead of just publications. And this is the outcome we were getting in the academic world, basically, which is, I guess, questionable research papers, questionable research, in fact, because, yeah, the research might be, oh, sorry, my light turned off there. Oh, God, hold on. So, as I was saying, all this pressure to publish and the encouragement for publications has led to this crap. And again, how can we trust? Why does it keep turning off? How can we trust the academic world if this is what we're getting all the time? So yeah, that's another mess, and that light is done. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep it pushing. Almost done. So the next one was this one, which is the Zurich University taking some steps. Sorry, I had to take a call there, but yeah. So the University of Zurich in Switzerland, I believe it's a world-respected university, because I know someone who works there in one of the top-tier science. I'm not gonna say which science, because people might know it is. So I'm not gonna leak anything. But yeah, they pretty much kind of pulled out of the Times Higher Education rankings, and the Times Higher Education, THE, or is a university ranking that I guess ranks universities based on the quality of their teaching and research output, along with industry income. I guess either how well like academics do after they leave, or how are they doing whilst still there in like postdoc research positions, but also diversity of academics. Okay, not sure about that one. Bit suspect, but whatever. And student body, I guess the makeup of student body, which I don't know how well that can be ranked, but I guess it's how high performing your students are, I guess, especially from a research point of view. And then I guess quality of teaching and research output again, and the influence to place, okay, like the influence, the ranking basically. But the Zurich University basically doesn't think this is a good way, because as they say in this title, the THE study, like the way they are ranking, favors quantity over quality, which is a problem, because quality should be what comes first, especially when it comes to research. So they've pulled out, citing that the design of the rankings isn't great enough, and that it should be, I guess, focused on the quality of the research being released or published by that university, by that institution. I guess along with how well performing the student body is, and also how reproducible the research is, basically, or even probably even how much impact it has on the world, like in terms of actually changing people's lives. So yeah, a lot of things are happening within the academic world. I will put all the links to these articles in the description, by the way. But yeah, as you can see, it's a mess out there, and yeah, I have my own opinions on this, but in this one I'm just relaying some information. Anyway, I'm gonna continue with the rest of the video.